Happy hour, everybody.
Hey.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're going to have a special guest joining us in a little bit. Just the coolest girl you have ever met. Her name is Karen. And Tony and I met her when we were working on our Catterday contest. And she just has the greatest story. And I can't wait for you to chat with her. But before we start, Lamar, please take a look at my sweater, which Karen Mia thrifted. It's fishing themed.
I love that. I see it.
So, I mean, it's got like the fishnet and a little basket and some lures and, of course, some fishes. So I was freezing and went in Karen Mia's room to find, because it's right near where I work, and went in Karen Mia's room to find like a hoodie or something and discovered this delightful fishing sweater. And Heather said, "Oh, keep it. You need to keep that. That is an amazing sweater." So
that is awesome.
Cheers, everybody. Let's say hi to Sherry Thacker and Steve Held and Susan Lane and Suzanne Banks and Renee Goodspeed and Teresa Broom coming in from Winston-Salem. Did everybody have a nice day today? I woke up this morning and committed to being delightful. And how did I do, Lamar? Was I delightful earlier today?
A breath of spring air.
Seriously, Heather, I gave myself such a talking to in the shower this morning. I was like, girl, listen, you are allowed to feel your feelings. And if you feel like a crazy, raggedy biatch, you're allowed to feel that way. In fact, anybody in your position would feel that way. But what you're not allowed to do is to take those feelings and spray them in every direction. So today you must commit to being delightful. And Lamar will back me up here. The Lord did try me. Yes. Tested my commitment to delightfulness.
This is how the Lord teaches you. You know what I'm saying? He tries you. Yeah, yes. If you want to be delightful, you have to have something to overcome to be delightful.
Yes. And you know what, Lamar? I'm so glad that you pointed that out, because very early into today's commitment to be delightful, verily a test was placed before me. And I saw it and I was like, you've got to be, I'm going to be delightful.
See, that's how you catch yourself and say, oh, okay. You did a great job.
Yeah.
Great job. Yeah.
Oh, look, Regina Denton's here. So Regina's in Florida. And if you follow her on Instagram or Facebook, Regina went out on a boat and caught a big ass fish. I mean, like a big fish. Regina, please admire my fishing sweater. I'm wearing it in your honor. There you go. There's big ass fish all over my sweater. She did. I don't think she caught it with her hands. I'm pretty sure like a hook and some bait was involved. But Regina's a little bitty thing. And this fish was massive. I don't know what kind of fish it was. My husband
I saw her stuff on Facebook. Being down there. She has the pictures on the beach and everything. Yeah.
My husband and his son went fishing at like a city park, and they caught a big fish, and they came home without it. And I thought, oh, for once, I don't have to figure out what's for dinner. But as Kevin pointed out, do you really want to eat a fish in a city park pond?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. Better to have store-bought tilapia than the city park.
Can we talk about tilapia? Neither Lamar nor I. Heather, do you eat tilapia?
Oh.
So I read an article once in a magazine. This was a long time ago. And it was about a salmon farm. And they had the salmon. I don't like salmon farm salmon either, because it's a weird color and it tastes like a fishy sock. Yeah. But anyway, so they described like how salmon farming worked in this magazine article. And they feed salmon, and the salmon produce copious amounts of waste, which would be a problem, except they introduce tilapia into the situation, and tilapia eat the salmon waste.
Yeah.
I can't. I have not been able to eat a bite of tilapia.
I'm funny about sockeye salmon, freshwater sockeye salmon, because it's got that deep color.
Yeah.
And I buy it. Listen, I buy it at Costco, a bag of frozen, individually wrapped. And when you look on the ingredients, this is what I love: ingredients, salmon. That's it. There's no other ingredient. And man, those things are it's so simple and so easy, and it's the perfect size. I mean, I could eat one like this, but this I should be eating this one, and it's a perfect size, and you can just thaw it out. And, oh man, yeah, it's awesome.
A million years ago, you guys, my late father-in-law went salmon fishing in Alaska, and
Oh,
he caught a bunch of salmon, and they flash freeze them, and you can ship them. That salmon was like the greatest. It was so the color was so deep and it was so intensely good. It wasn't fishy. It was just salmon, man. It was like the greatest, like the pureness of Alaska on a plate. That all day long, but a fish that's entire diet is made up of other fish's excrement. I'm not trying to be high maintenance, but
yeah, yeah, yeah,
ew. Ew, ew, ew. Let's say hi to Meredith Miller. Oh, yeah, no more tilapia. Yes, Queen, now you
yeah.
know. And Rachel Summerall, who is her son is doing his karate texting for his next belt. That's so exciting. Hi,
That is
Cheryl. Newman.
hard, 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 hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Dennis, Karen, and Deborah Brando, and Brian Moss, and Richard Priotti, who says we should eat pollock. And Regina did eat that fish, y'all. She didn't put it back. She said it was delicious.
good.
Yeah, Kathy Lemaster, hell no to the tilapia. I'm sorry, like, and you
Yeah.
can't even say to me, yeah, but you eat, like spam, not on purpose. I eat it when Kevin sneaks it into something, and then we have a blind taste test.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, and Rachel says he's going for his green belt.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That's not quite as the black is like takes forever, and it's yeah.
Richard's asking where Bob is. We gave Bob the night off. He was wiped. He was
Yeah.
just really tired. I don't know, Roxanne, if he got his rain gauge or not, but you know how some days, especially this time of the year with the pollen and all, you just don't you feel some days like somebody just beat you in the head and you can't keep your eyes open. Hey, Sarah Panetti. Hey, Queen. Yeah, so Bob was just kind of wiped out, so we gave him the night off.
Yeah.
Um, Tomorrow now Lamar is going to be reviewing Arcadian with one of my all-time favorite actors who even his worst movie is still the most entertaining thing you can watch, Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage. Woo! He's the man.
I'm not
He's
going to ask you for a hint because I don't want to know until I hear the review, but one of the things like when we can't decide if there's anything to watch, I google Nicolas Cage movies cuz there's always one you think just when you think you've seen them all. There's
yeah.
always one you've never heard of that never was in theaters, that absolutely no one that you know has seen, and then you fire it up and it ends up being great, a 90 minutes
He's
of great.
got to be in the top 5 most prolific movie stars. I mean, he will. He's making a movie every week. It feels like. I mean, constantly. He's he turning them out, turning them out.
He had all those unfortunate real estate investments and tax problems that he had to
Yeah,
deal
that
with.
buying that castle and stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever seen, I think it was Nicolas Cage's first movie. It's an old movie from I want to say like maybe the mid 1980s called Valley Girl. Heather, have you seen Valley Girl? Because
I
you would.
It sounds
It's
familiar, but I will check it to see if I've seen it.
it's so good. It's the kind of it's similar to the plot of Say Anything in that it's this popular, beautiful girl and this kind of strange, slightly geeky outsider boy who is head over heels and he is going to get the girl come hell or high water. You would really love it. And when you see Nicolas Cage is like a teenager in this movie,
Yeah.
but all of that um like big sad-eyed hopeless romanticism that you see in like Moonstruck, it's all there.
Oh,
Like
great.
from
He's
the very
unbelievable.
beginning.
Heather
Oh,
Lauder, you're exactly right. Raising Arizona, awesome movie.
that's the yeah.
Can I
Hey,
tell you guys a fun Nicolas Cage fact? This is
please.
gonna
Yes.
out me as a super nerd. Okay, so I play this game called Dead by Daylight, and Nicolas Cage is one of the survivor characters that you can play. And each character has a perk where they, do something that makes it worth playing the character. His is like faking being like knocked down, so and screaming. It's called Scene Partner, and it's hilarious. So I love Nicolas Cage.
I
He's
love
oh, yeah,
I
I love him. He puts it all out
adore
there, buddy. All of it.
Nicolas Cage. Hey Lamar, you just somebody watched. Who was it? Patty Lawrence watched the original Roadhouse because of you. She's Patrick Swayze. We almost watched. This is a. I'm just going to own this, and I'm not even like a little bit sorry. We were going to watch the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yep.
but I'm just going to be real. I have never been able to forgive Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
All too well, my friends.
he done the
All
girl bad. He done the
too.
girl bad.
So was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. I'm flipping channels and the day after tomorrow was on. That's the climate disaster movie where like it's a
Oh
once in
my
a
gosh.
right with Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal and Emmy Rossum.
Yeah.
Every time his stupid sad boy face was on the screen, I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal. I need to grow up and get a hobby.
Beef with him. You've got beef with him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Donna Schmidt says, greetings from Bemidji, Minnesota. Listening for almost 17 years when the station went off the air. Yeah, I mean, there are so many things. I was about to say there are so many things we can't control, but I can't really think of a single thing we can control. Now that
Yeah.
you've been in the saddle for a while, Lamar, what say you?
Whew. No, no. From the outside, you know, it was different. It was very different doing a movie review and popping in once in a while during the week. It was very, very different. Yeah.
A friend of ours who's very technical, we were having some issues last week. And so he texted me and said, are you around tomorrow afternoon? Let me come over and take a look at what's going on. So he comes, he takes a look at what's going on. He shakes his head and he says, I don't know what Tony was thinking, but this was never meant to work this way. Then he removed all of these sound files from my laptop and broke my Ethernet cable and then left. And so the only way I can hear y'all tonight is I have the volume jacked way up in my headphones so I don't have to wear them. And that's what I'm hearing, your little voices coming through my headphones because I have no speakers, no way to take sound out. Heather and I have to figure something out. And the only Ethernet cable I had in the house was like 10 or 15 feet long. And so, we had some serious issues because the Ethernet cable was just like Mercury retrograde.
Yeah.
And I can't even make eye contact with Heather when I say Mercury retrograde because I'm afraid she's going to shut us down and leave.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cat Kane. Thank you. And
Hey,
y'all drive careful coming from Connecticut to South Carolina.
Amanda wants to know, Lamar, what does that phrase say behind you? All she sees is the word bacon.
Oh, well, that's all that really matters. It says, life is short, eat the bacon.
What did I
My
tell
granddaughter
you?
gave me that.
What did I tell you? Like you are an example of great genes because you just, if you like it in your mouth, it goes.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I think Karen's here early. Let me see if I can bring her
Oh
up.
yeah, you want to pop in?
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't my neighbor this time. There she is, Karen. Hey.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Karen, everybody. This is Karen. Karen, this is everybody. Welcome to Happy Hour. Are you in Spain right now?
I am, and it's an hour later than I thought we were going to be meeting because I did a little incorrect math on time zones. So I was ready to go like an hour ago, and now I'm like, okay, wait, I'm still awake, so all good.
That time zone thing, I missed. I am so paranoid about time zones because my mom lives in Mountain Time, but the nearest airport is in Pacific Time, so it's an hour earlier. So you know what that means. Like you have to really do all sorts of, if Jimmy has 5 apples and is flying to Chicago, like I have missed flights because I've gotten the time change stuff wrong. So
Well, and I think that's what I did was I'm used to converting from like central US because that's where I lived for so long and that's where my family lives, that I was thinking it was 7 p.m. central. No, that would have been backwards too. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, you're here. That's all that matters.
I'm here.
So I was telling everyone before you came that Tony and I loved meeting you, and we as part of our new Catter Day contest, because we're all cat ladies around here. As part of our new Catter Day contest, you can win something that Karin, like, this is Karin's business. It's called Hide and Scratch. So there it is. I have one too.
Of course, I got my props ready.
I have one. I brought my cats that's open. So they can hide in it and they scratch in it, and all the cardboard bits that usually go on your floor stay in the box. Mine's sleeping because my cats would rather have a cardboard box than a fancy cat bed from the pet store. So you'll be able to win. We're giving away Hide and Scratch. The website, if you want to check it out, is hideandscratch.com. We're going to be giving these away as part of our Catterday contest. I got one for my daughter, for her feral cat, Herbert, the one that had part of his tail amputated because he got it stuck in the kitchen. Don't ask. It's too insane. And then I also sent a Hide and Scratch. So my youngest daughter, Karin, she and her friends, they raise money and take care of the stray cats on their campus, their college campus. So they call it the campus cats have a Hide and Scratch too now. On the
indoors or outdoors?
They're all outdoor cats, but they have they created on one of the dorms has a porch, a covered porch.
Okay.
And so they bought them a little house to sleep in, and then they put the Hide and Scratch bed. I'll have to send you the pictures of the campus cats lounging in the Hide and Scratch.
Please do. I've actually been trying to figure out. So my new apartment, we've actually got several cat colonies right outside, and there's a big group of people that take care of them. And I've kind of been pondering. I was like, wait, should I put one outside for them? But the whole box is outdoors when it's not covered. I'm not sure if it's the best idea, but.
Well, that's why I was so thrilled that they had a covered spot. And when the cats, so these are strays. These are not pets. They're kind of wild. Most of them, a couple of them have been dumped because you can tell they used to be pets and they're real salty about not still being pets. But even the feral cats, they knew instantly what the what was. They were like, I'm in here. I'm going to do some scratching. Then I'm going to do some napping. It's simple and genius and perfect. And yes, we are giving these away. And you can enter our Catterday contest. All the details are at bobandsheri.com. And you can go look at hideandscratch.com. Karin, I was hoping that you would share your origin story of how you ended up in Barcelona, because it's just my favorite thing.
Well, it's such a long story, though.
We got time.
We got time.
I guess the medium version of it is I've been effectively a digital nomad since 2017 when I decided to take a break from the corporate world and didn't really have a plan in terms of what I was going to do at that point, other than take a break from what I had been doing and maybe go try something else and just take a break for a while. But as a part of that, I started out actually in Costa Rica doing a bunch of volunteer work, actually teaching English as a part of a government-sponsored program to help out some underprivileged kids, which was a really great experience. Although through that, I realized that I could not be a teacher. It was extremely rewarding, but oh my gosh, that was such hard work. And I think after the first week, I was like, I don't know how teachers do this 5 days a week with huge classes of kids. And it just gave me the utmost respect for anybody who's doing that day in and day out.
That's so true. I don't know. I have friends who are teachers, and when I tell you it's a 7-day-a-week job. They're grading, they're preparing, they're cleaning and decorating classrooms, they're buying snacks for kids who are hungry. I mean, it is a calling.
Yeah. So it was a great experience, but I knew that's not what I was meant to be doing just work-wise for the rest of my life because it was exhausting. But was in Costa Rica for about a year, started doing some freelance work here and there on the side, actually ended up getting connected with an entrepreneur who also has an MBA, and actually got into the world of MBA admissions consulting. And I've been working with her for several years, which checked a lot of boxes for me, no pun intended there, but enabled me to really work from wherever. And so did a lot of traveling as a part of that. After Costa Rica, I was back in the US for a little bit, and then signed up for a travel program where I was in a different country each month for a period of time.
But what a dream, seriously, to be able to do that.
Yeah. Oh, I look back at my life in the last couple of years, and it's always kind of pinched me. How is this actually real, and how is this my life, just in terms of where I'm living and then, what I'm doing, which I guess is part 2 of the story. But to get to how I ended up in Barcelona, I was doing this travel program, and we were in a different month each, or a different country each month. And I was in Thailand of March of 2020 when things literally blew up. And most of the people who were in the group that I was with had headed back to the US or Canada or wherever they were from. And I and one of my good friends from the group, we actually just kind of set up camp in Thailand, largely because we were working online and we had jobs and we knew we wouldn't be dependent on anybody there or taking any resources from anybody, and actually like would be able to help out the economy potentially when it was a really tourist driven area. So I think I was in Thailand. Well, I was in Thailand most of 2020 actually. But then later on in the year, I've got a big group of friends that live up in London. And they had decided to head south from the UK to just get some better weather when they were actually finally able to leave after the lockdown. And they said, hey, come join us. And at this point, I'd been in Thailand for a while. And just being totally on the opposite side of the world in terms of connecting with people, that gets kind of tough. And so I said, well, hey, yeah, I'll come join you in Spain. And so did that, but also didn't really have a plan in terms of what I would do after the 3 months I'd be able to stay in Spain on a tourist visa. But when I got here, I mean, travel was still kind of, you couldn't really be like moving around a lot. And I just kind of said, well, hey, I've always wanted to spend a chunk of time in Spain and I'm here, and can I figure out how to stay? So was still working on the side, but actually signed up as a full-time student to start taking classes and enable me to be able to stay in Spain a while longer, thinking I'd stay here for 6 months. And then after that, I was like, well, wait, I didn't get a chance to really travel around and see that much of Spain. So can I stay a little bit longer? And now I guess this is home for me. I've been here 3 years now. Oh, we just lost Sheri.
Yeah, she'll pop back. Sometimes
Good
the
one.
internet does that.
Especially Sheri's.
Well, I mean, she knows the story. She knows the story too. But that's how I've ended up in Spain. So yeah, this is kind of home for now, and I've got the luxury of being able to will still run my U.S. based business from here and still go back to the U.S. a fair bit, but still able to hop around and visit all my friends.
Well, with all your travel, like when you were being in a different country each month or whatever, was language a problem or?
I luckily have not had a ton of, I can only think of like 1 or 2 instances where it was like I had an actual like really tough situation. Most of the cities that we were in were very heavily tourist friendly. And then one of the things you actually start to realize after you travel so much is how much of actually a privilege it is to be a native English speaker. I think it was one point where it was actually the first time I'd been in Thailand, not when I was there as a part of this trip. So this was like back in 2012. I was in a hotel somewhere and there was a man there who spoke, I think he was Chinese, and spoke Chinese, but didn't speak English and didn't speak Thai. And so was trying to figure out how to do something somewhere, and figuring out how to do that when you don't speak the local language and then you don't speak the popular language, kind of all around the world
language. Yeah.
That actually just made my head explode. I was like, I can't imagine what it would be. How. So
Google
Translate. I have
Translate.
a lot of problems. I speak Spanish very well now, but I always had like a decent amount of that. And between English and Spanish, that actually gets you quite a ways around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
I just love first of all, like the idea of being a digital nomad is such a fantasy that we can't talk about too much because I'm really not interested in Heather departing, taking her reptile and heading out.
Yeah, it's not as good as you think it would be, Heather. It's not that great.
But what an adventure. And like what proof for a lot of us, we have all these daydreams, but before we even try, we're like, oh, probably can't. Oh, that won't work. Oh, that's too hard. And maybe the answer is to just throw yourself in there like you did and figure it out as you go.
My whole life, I feel like it's been a lot of figuring out as I go. And that's where, that's really what the last, it's been 7 years now, I guess, since I left the corporate world and that whole kind of standard path that I'd been on, where it was it was the whole US thing of, I went to college, didn't know what I wanted to do, but you go to college and then you get a job and then you get promoted and you've got to get another, and then went to business school because you keep doing this ladder thing and never really took a break. And that's where, I mean, a couple of things fell into place in 2017 where I was like, wait a minute, maybe time for a break. So took that and didn't really have a plan.
But you know what? I think that's the best. This is one of the life lessons that I'm struggling to learn because, I'm a Capricorn and I'm a planner and I'm super driven and I grind myself into the ground and never take proper care of myself, right? So I'm a walking self-harming nightmare. And part of the reason for that is I always had a plan. And once you have the plan, you feel like you're failing or giving up if you don't stick to the plan. And sometimes the plan that you have is one you cooked up when you were like 17 and a half years old before your brain was finished developing. Right, Heather? But you feel like so married to that plan that, how many times have you heard people say, well, I can't change jobs because, I went to college for 4 years to be an accountant. Yes, but you're so unhappy and it's eating your soul. Like maybe you can actually change. I think we get so married to the plan once we have it that it stops being a plan and becomes more of a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you little bird flew free.
Yeah. You have to be really bold to do that. I mean, that's not like just you jumped on it. That's amazing. Not too many people are able to do it.
Thanks.
I mean, that's
well,
amazing.
and well, whenever people say that to me, I mean, I agree, but also I have to fully, I had a lot of things, like I said, fall into place and had a lot of things that I could fall back on. That's another thing. I mean, I quit my job in my mid 30s with, 15 years of professional experience and I mean, an MBA and a network of people that I could have gone to get a job from if I needed to. I also had a very open door at my company to come back if I decided after 6 months that.
So there was a net. There was a net.
Yes. Oh, that's absolutely a net. And that's why I look at a lot of like the people who are in their 20s and don't have a career like in place yet. And they're doing all sorts of different things or running around the world, I guess, without a plan. And Sheri, I'm with you. I've always been a planner. So this was kind of very counter to
out of character. Yeah. But we do love a queen who recognizes and acknowledges her privilege, because that's one of the things that drives me crazy. Like not everybody has the kind of privilege where, you've got a net, you've got some fallbacks, right? There's no shame in acknowledging that you have support, that somebody helped you along the way. The shame is in pretending, we all just did it all by ourselves. None of us do it by ourselves. None of us.
Yeah. So that's where it was. I mean, a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, it was super risky to quit your job and move away. And it's like, well, I mean, it was the situation was my condo building in Chicago actually was bought out. So that was kind of the impetus for things where it was like, okay, wait a minute. All of a sudden my mortgage is gone and I don't have my condo anymore. And do I want to buy another one or do I want to go take a break and do something else before I commit to that type of thing again?
So let me tell you, when Tony first called me, he goes, I met this really cool lady and she has this product. Let me explain it to you. It's called Hide and Scratch. It's a box that's also, and I was like, I know, I already see it in my head. It's genius. I'm so jealous, because sometimes the really best and coolest things are so simple that the light bulb goes off and you go, oh, why did I think of that? What did I think of that? So tell us about your cat lady hide and scratch journey, what that has been like for you.
That's been a journey too. This all started out as just a kind of a side thing while I was doing the MBA admissions consulting to learn more about the world of e-commerce, and just out of curiosity, like kind of how does this work and how does selling on Amazon work? And I like doing things. And I mean, definitely can't take the idea, take credit for the idea. There are other cat scratcher boxes out there. Hide and Scratch was not the first one. It's just more of a take a good idea and make it better. And most of the ones out there they're small and they just look like boxes. Or
yes, this is stylish. Let me hold mine up again. This, like, as a cat lady, like this looks good in the living room.
Well, right? That's the whole thing. Like, I mean, cats like scratchers, cats like boxes. People want things in their homes that don't look like empty cardboard boxes, or have garish colors. You want something that kind of fits in there nicely. And so there you go.
When my hide and scratch arrived, I took it out of the box that it came in. I have 4 cats because, you can't have just one. So when I took it out of the box it came in, 2 of the cats climbed into the shipping box. And then I assembled it, and the other 2 cats climbed into the hide and scratch. I had to hang on to the shipping box, Karin, for about 4 days before the other 2 would let go of it. And once again, you can have a chance to win. And you can win like a custom keepsake photo frame and a hide and scratch and all kinds of cool swag in our Catterday contest. But you can also, if you want to send one of these to like your cat loving mom or whatever, hideandscratch.com. So
I think I've actually got one of the frames here. Tony sent me some.
Hold it up. Yeah, look.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that fun?
That's cool.
Sorry, hard to get in the center with the camera, but yeah, there you go. So you can win one of these with your photo in here, and then one of these in the color of your choice.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Cooper said, "This looks like Shark Tank gold for me." And Kat Kane said, "This is a great item for apartment people, especially people that are, in small space and you're trying to keep things clean." So I got a hide and scratch for my daughter. She has a cat who is insane. And I was like, "Here, give him," because he's scratching like her clothes. I said, "Give him this." And she goes, "You know how he is, mother. You know how he is." He was in it as soon as it was assembled. And now that's his scratchy post and his bed of choice.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to figure out, I kind of need to like work on the marketing or something here. How do you explain it? And I guess the customer reviews kind of really do the best job of it, which is, I was just actually moving them around on my website. Because I do all those little things myself where it's like, Tony and I were talking about this too, but the people talk about how it's literally a cat magnet. And one of the best reviews I think that I ever got that I just delighted the daylights out of me was on Amazon, where somebody literally posted a picture of the Amazon box and of the hide and scratch. They said it's better than the box that it came in. And I was like, I couldn't have made that
There's
up.
no higher praise.
Right. That's big praise from a cat.
It's huge praise from a cat. I don't even Bob he teases me all the time, like, why do you want to be a cat lady? People, you don't want to be a cat lady. You are chosen by the universe. You are a born cat
thrust
lady.
upon you.
Yeah. I didn't choose the cat lady life. It chose me, going all the way back to when I was a little girl and told my parents, Karin, that when I grew up, that I was going to have a house for all the cats that nobody wanted. And I was going to call it Pussy Haven. And oh, how my daddy laughed. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't say that I chose the cat lady life. When you're 7 years old and drawing up plans for Pussy Haven and it's for cats, you're born to that life. Excuse me. Now, Sherry Wallace says, "I love that the scratch bits are contained. My daughter has 3 kittens and her boy will love this product." Yeah, because you'd be amazed at how much you don't enjoy having saliva choked cat cardboard bits every which where in your house, which you have when you have 4
and
of them.
Stepping on them with your bare feet in the morning.
Yeah. Robin says she loves cats, but she's allergic. Girl, you need a hairless cat. Yes, you do.
But the hairless cats. What did I see the other day about how they always leave marks with their butts on anything they sit on?
It's not perfect, okay? Karin, it's not a perfect situation.
No, I think now I'm remembering. I need to follow up on that. I had someone on Instagram that had a hairless cat and had a large number of followers had reached out asking if I wanted to do a partnership. And I was like, I will absolutely. I don't have a picture yet of one of the hairless cats in a hide and scratch, and I want one of these. I said, yes, I will absolutely send you a scratcher in exchange for photos. I don't think I've seen him yet, though.
I have a hairless cat, but he wasn't supposed to be a hairless cat. He started out with fur like other cats. He was just like all the other boys. And then he tore his ACL. He was an athlete, of course. He tore his ACL and he had to have that repaired. And after the ACL surgery, slowly, patch by patch, he began molting and his hair fell off. It didn't come back. And he's pear-shaped with enormous bulging eyes and giant satellite dish ears, and he looks like a gremlin from a fairy tale, and he's bald as can be and super hot to the touch.
Well, sure. Did you know that's one of the reasons why cats like boxes so much, is that their temperature is actually a fair bit higher than ours? which is where I'm guessing if he doesn't have the fur, he's just kind of like emanating the heat because it's not keeping
He
inside.
radiates it.
Yeah,
He'll
but
in the middle of the night, he'll come wandering in and he'll jump up onto the bed and he'll work his way, starting from the bottom, he'll work his way under the covers and he comes up, 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 up. And then he cuddles up right next to me like a stuffed animal. But it is like sleeping every night with a big hot pot roast. A bald, he feels like suede, bald, purring pot roast. Needless to say, the action between me and the mister, smoking hot, obviously.
God.
Don't you say a word. You share your life in your bed with a poodle, Lamar. You
Well,
have
that is
no
true. That is true. That is
business.
absolutely true.
No business. Don wants to know if there are cat dudes. There are absolutely cat daddies.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Your customers break down male, female, right, Karin?
I suppose they do. Here's one of the, I don't have a lot of data on that actually.
My son-in-law is a cat dude. Oh God. Oh, his dad. I mean, the cats are their deal. Cats
I
are
try to exclusively date cat men now, so if I'm gonna date men, it's gonna be cat men.
That's a good filter. No, there was a guy I was just seeing on Instagram. Oh, I wish I knew his name off the top of my head. He's got a super cuddly cat, and he actually does all of these reviews of like baby carriers, but uses them for his cat. And because it's one of the cats that just kind of like, always wants to be hugged.
My brother's a cat daddy. He has a Bengal that is his kitty best friend. He walks him around the neighborhood on a leash. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. His my nieces and nephews are salty because they're like, oh, Dad loves the cat. The cat's name is Kip. Dad loves Kip more than us now. And I'm like, that's because, Kip hits him a couple times a year for the vet and leaves him alone the rest of the time. Y'all just bleed him dry.
cat never disappoints. The cat never disappoints. That's why.
Oh, look, we have a cat dude who just said he already ordered a hide and scratch.
Oh,
A new cat dude. Yay. Thank you.
Jonah. Yeah. Thank you, Jonah Mannheim. You are going to love it. Herbert Davis, his miniature schnauzer just had 2 puppies in the bed. Hey, that makes sleeping with a hot bald cat a little bit less terrifying, my dude. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, Karin, tell us about day-to-day life in Barcelona, because I've been to Spain a few times, but I've never gotten to like stay for a real length of time or live there. And I know that the lifestyle is so different. Just the pace of the days sounds insane to your average workaholic American.
Yeah. Although I still have to fully admit I'm still sort of a workaholic American, which is kind of backwards given that I, quit the corporate world to kind of live a slower pace of life, but then ended up having a job that does not at all feel like a job. And this is fun to me
that you're always working.
I'm always working. But it is also the weird thing of being an entrepreneur is that you're kind of always working and always on vacation, or have the ability to kind of just to flex things.
To do both, yeah.
It's a weird thing to explain. But Spain in general, my mom and my aunt, like a really good family friend of ours, were just here to visit me, and yeah, it's always some things that start to seem normal to me that I have to explain to people, like grocery stores not open on Sundays. In fact, nothing open on Sundays. So restaurants, yes, but like all of the big grocery stores, all of the big shops, not open. There's some smaller ones that'll be open, but usually it's if you need to go do a big shop, if you're like a weekly shopper, it's a Saturday thing. What else? Meals are definitely later, although that's one thing I've had to kind of explain to people. It's not just a cultural thing. It's partially because of just the day is shifted, where going back to time zones and that whole chat of things, Spain and Barcelona is actually like straight south of London, but we're an hour ahead.
Okay.
And so that's one of the reasons why it stays light so late in the summer, is because of that time zone switch, not because we're like so far north. But it was actually the first time I was in Spain when I really realized that, where it was my trip around the world, and we were in, where were we beforehand? Portugal, I think. No, I don't remember. Maybe Croatia. We were in a different country, and we got to Spain, and I just kind of being on a natural kind of wake up and go do things. I was realizing I was like, wait, why am I waking up so late here? And why am I getting to the office so much later? Because we were in a co-working space, and just I had it in my head that I need to be getting up at 7 and at the office by like 9:30. Yet everything was shifted kind of an hour or so back. And it was when I realized I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute, everything is just different here. Partially because it gets later in the morning or later in the morning. But yeah, like midday meal isn't until like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You don't find anybody sitting down at a restaurant at noon. Dinner, most restaurants don't even open until 8. So I have two of my really good friends here that are also, we kind of joke that we're old ladies. Whenever we go out for dinner, it's like, wait, we are eating at 8, right? None of this like 10 p.m. dinner thing, because as much as we've all lived here for a while, we're just like, that's past our bedtime. So yeah, later meal times.
That would be a super hard adjustment to make for, I think, a lot of us. The idea of, well, we have dinner reservations for 11 p.m. Like that would just be, I'm because of the job I do. Whether I'm a morning person or not, and I'm not, I'm forced to be. Dinner at 11, I'll just starve. Thanks very much. I got to go to bed.
I mean, it's a little bit more like kind of 10 o'clock would be the standard time to get dinner. And then I have to be honest, I still don't know what the standard like office hours are here because I just haven't been in that world. But it is, I can't get my head around it either. I mean, I do eat like at home, partially because I'll wind up working and I'm doing a lot of stuff with people in the US. Like I usually eat dinner around 9 here. So when I go back and visit my family in Wisconsin and my sister's like, okay, 5:30, what are we having for dinner? I'm like, it's 5:30.
So what else have you what other changes have you seen maybe in yourself since you've been traveling and being digitally nomadic?
Oh my gosh. I'm a lot happier. In fact, that was one of the most fun things in the world was actually, so my business school reunion was actually the one 5 years ago, or even just, no, it was our 15-year reunion. Oh gosh, that still freaks me out when I say 15 years. But it was our 15-year reunion last spring, so just a year ago. And just interacting with all my friends and the school I went to. I mean, we've got a lot of people in our class who are CEOs of major companies or like managing directors at big financial firms and this type of stuff. And they're just kind of looking at me. They're like, you look like you're aging backwards. Like, what are you doing? You're happy. You've got a smile on your face. You're kind of tan. You're a little blonde. And I'm like, I mean, I'm living in Spain and building a cat box empire. And then they kind of scratch their head at it because this is very different from what kind of your typical MBA path is. I mean, yes, a lot like, okay, I guess I'm technically a CEO, but it's a one-person company. So this is very different than what other people are doing. Or it's like, no, I make the website edits myself, or I put the graphics together, or even right now I'm putting together, I realized I need business cards because I'm going to go to a trade show in Germany next month. And I was like, oh, I should probably have business cards with me. So yeah, it's just, I mean, I also do a lot better. I'm not this grumpy person walking around when I was having to get up to go to an office in the morning. I need my sleep. My friends always joke that I'm kind of the grandma in the bunch, but it's like, look, I need like 9 hours of sleep a night. That's just what I figured out. So, yeah, but kind of being able to wake up on my own schedule is a big different thing.
I think that what you're describing is just a more balanced and humane kind of a life. Like, we have slowly, what's the metaphor? The lobster or the frog being cooked in the pot of boiling water. Yes. We have slowly become habituated to a life of grinding exhaustion in the name of profits. We can't afford our groceries. We can't afford housing. We can't afford anything. We don't have vacation time. We don't go to the doctor when we're sick because either we don't have insurance or we can't afford to pay for it even with insurance. And we've just accepted that that's life. Meanwhile, a handful of corporations control our food supply, control our media, the information that's disseminated. They don't care that we're being ground into dust. They don't care that you don't have that you don't have a good quality of life. They don't care that you can't go to the doctor. They don't give a damn that you can't afford housing, because everything is in the name of profits and dividends and more for the shareholders and the people on top. And what we need is a revolution, which we're not going to be having, because we're fighting the wrong thing. Instead of going, hey, you know what? I should be maybe pissed off at this small handful of corporate entities that are sucking the lifeblood out of me, my family, and everyone I know. No, I think I'm going to be pissed off at my neighbor because they go to a different church than I go to. I'm going to be pissed off at that person over there because I think he's married to a man. Like, we are just pissed off and distracted and fighting all of the wrong battles, while these handful of profit mongers bleed us dry without even the slightest damn for our well-being or the collective good. So you are living a more balanced life. You get some sleep, you see friends, you love your work. You don't get up every day and go, oh my God, if I don't get to the office an hour early and stay an hour late and miss my kid's soccer game and not be able to take my mom to her doctor's appointment, I could lose this job and then I have to live in my car. I'm sorry. And I know we got some rank capitalist patriots out there, but you can't really defend that as a way of life, because it's not a way of life. It's something to do between birth and death. And it's terrible, Karin. And when people say you're aging backward, what they're seeing on your face is not that exhausting stress and fear that no matter what you do, it won't be enough and you're going to end up out in the cold.
Yeah.
Revolution. Lamar's like, I need a stiffer drink. This man he has to listen to me all day long. I'm constantly telling Lamar. First, I'm constantly telling him about corporate profiteers, extraterrestrials, alternate dimensions, Bigfoot, Mothman. Today, I was telling him about a half man, half frog. Like, he has to hear this all the time. But
during that, I can't drink during that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can drink now.
During this.
Lock yourself out.
But how can we feel good about the fact that, we have people working 2-3 jobs who can't afford an apartment? Like, what, girl? So I am so proud of you and delighted for you for running your cat box cat lady empire all by yourself, in Spain in the sunshine. Good for you. You get one beautiful life. Look at you living it.
Well, cheers to that. Thank you.
Cheers to that. Now, let's say that you're a big old fat cat profiteering capitalist with a cat. Allow me to recommend Hide and Scratch. So you're going to a trade show in Germany. What's next? Like, what are you really like daydreaming about right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, actually, this whole year already has been absolutely crazy and has blown. I mean, my mind just keeps it. I don't even know the words for it. Like, it continues to blow my mind where this has all gone from. Like I said, this started out as let me have something to tinker on the side and maybe I'll make a little bit of money off of it, and like, cool. And the fact that this has turned into my full-time job is, first of all, like, has just blown my initial expectations out of the water. This year is getting, real exciting, not just with, what I've got going on with you guys. The fact that you all reached out to me was like one of 3 different things that happened in the last couple of months where I was like, wait, how people are seeing about this and they think this is cool. And wait, now what's going to happen is they're going to help me help all these other people learn about this. So yeah, we've got the Catterday contest going on for for the next several months, actually for the year.
Yep.
So
indefinitely.
Indefinitely. There you go. So at least the next year, which is super exciting. I've also got a couple of different things going on. I've actually in the process, I had another organization reach out, or actually a celebrity that I don't know if I can name her yet. But there's going to be commercials dropping about Hide and Scratch coming to you live on like Hulu and Amazon, or not, like Amazon Prime and all those different types of things. I don't have all the details of that yet, but that was another situation where somebody reached out to me and they said, we love this product. We have a celebrity who wants to partner with you and like help promote this. So I have no idea what the future what the next several months have in store. Like, just based off of the awareness and the promotion stuff with you guys, and then with that. But aside from that, like just gearing up to all of it, I'm actually in the process of launching a couple new products on the website. So right now it is just the hide and scratch box. But I've got probably about a month or so, like catnip is going to be launching, and then some different cat toys. So there's these cool little balls. I don't know if people have seen them. They're actually made out of silver vine with catnip on the inside of them. So it's a different twist on kind of little.
And cats love silver vine. Oh my gosh.
It's
Mine carried around. They carry a little silver vine stick around like a dog with a bone.
Sticks are coming too. So these will all be little things you can add on to your box order or order them separately. But yeah, I didn't actually realize how different silver vine is than catnip, where catnip has like one component in it or one compound in it that cats react to, and silver vine has, I think, 8 different things that cats react to. Even my mom's cat, she had some of the samples, and he usually doesn't care at all about catnip and like loved these sticks. Oh, and I saw a question in there. My mom's in Madison, Wisconsin. They're actually in Oregon is where my mom and my sister are. So I saw that question come up. So that's where the family is.
Did you see what Anthony Cooper said? He said, "I've done Hulu ads. It's going to change your life. Get ready."
Okay. Well, this is where I've had the last couple of months has actually been trying to figure out how to make sure to stock up on enough inventory where it's hard to kind of estimate how much I actually need for all of this. So I've been kind of scraping the pennies together to invest the money in the inventory. Other fun bits about being a small like bootstrap business is figuring out how to get all that put in place.
Well, one of the things, so Tony and I started our company that is the Bob and Sheri Show and everything that goes with it on a credit card when no banks would give us a loan. Not a single bank. We went to every bank in the city and nobody would work with us. They said that we didn't have an established track record. But meanwhile, we did have an established track record, but under corporate ownership. So we got a Visa card and we started the business on a Visa card. And we learned a lot about how tough it is for bootstrapping entrepreneurs and how much luck is involved, and how if you have a really great product, sometimes you just need somebody to go, "That is a really great product. Can we tell people about your product for you?" It really comes down to that, because you really are bootstrapping it. You're doing it all by your lonesome, and hopefully that'll change. And soon you'll be like, in some magnificent mansion, and you won't take our calls, and that'd be great because that'll mean that hide and scratch.
We talked about this already. The Bob and Sheri Show has been instrumental in that happening. I'm absolutely taking your calls, and you are sitting there having wine with me. That's the one correction to this vision board.
Well, I can tell you this. Heather and I are both cat ladies who have gone to such crazy extremes and done insane things in the name of cats. I've got a daughter who's raising money and taking feral cats to the vet one at a time to get them spayed and neutered and get their shots. You are among your people. You really are. And hide and scratch is fantastic. And I'm so excited to be able to put it into everybody's houses as part of our Catterday contest. And of course, again, if you want to just snatch one up as a present for someone, you can do that at hideandscratch.com. Look, Karen's sitting right there. She'll drop it in a box and slap a mailing label on it as you watch.
I do have a fulfillment service that does all that for me.
We don't want Tony to know that's an option.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Well, Karen, cheers. And we'll be talking to you again soon as we go throughout the year with Hide and Scratch. Thanks for popping by Happy Hour.
Thank you so much for having me. This was an absolute delight and so cool to see all the questions and comments from everybody. So thank you so much. And you guys have a good evening.
Take care. Bye. Buenos noches. Isn't she like, don't you wish you had that life?
Oh my gosh, what a great life. That is a great life. To be traveling like that, yeah, that's really cool. The idea that you have to get up early is awesome. I love the idea of not getting up early.
Lamar, you know what stopped us from doing that is we had to get married and have kids.
Yeah, you notice she didn't talk about the kids that she's got, because once you get married and get kids, that pathway is directed.
Yeah, it's redirected. Yeah. And I wouldn't do a thing differently. I wouldn't change a thing. But, you can daydream, right?
Yep. Yep.
We have
Yep.
some, I didn't mention it at the top of happy hour, but every comment in the chat stream tonight, as always, counts as an entry. And we've got some stuff we've got some Bob and Sheri swag that we're going to, we'll pull people at random. And if you get an email a DM in your Facebook, correct, Heather?
Yes.
If you get a DM in your Facebook from Heather saying, congratulations, you've won, that is not spam. That is Heather reaching out to you so that we can get shipping information so that we can send you whatever you win tonight in happy hour. There were a couple questions that we didn't have a chance to answer. The True Weird Stuff podcast, we put it on a short hiatus because, to be honest, I just felt like Max needed a break. He was really, really overwhelmed and exhausted, and he's had so much going on.
We can never explain to you how much he does and how
Yeah.
hard he works. We can never explain it.
And I needed him to have some days where he could just not work. So True Weird Stuff returns tomorrow with a brand new episode. And so we're back in our regular cycle. The True Weird Stuff website is down because it's being rebuilt to make it a little bit easier to navigate. But you can always find True Weird Stuff on, Apple and Spotify, all the podcast players. Heather, do we have a link to it at bobandsherry.com? I don't think we do.
There is actually a page with it on there. I will put it up on the Facebook tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
For all the questions of my cocktail tonight, 4 Roses, single barrel. Awesome.
Let me see what I'm drinking.
Very inexpensive, and it's awesome.
I'm drinking. Oh, this, you know what? I should have told Karen. This is a Spanish Cabernet that I got from my favorite wine boutique, a little sassy little number called Costco. I think it was $7.99, but it's delicious.
Hey, have you ever been to Costco and been in the wine department and there's a guy there, like a wine guy, telling you stuff?
No, do you have one of those at your Costco?
Well, we did during the holidays, but I mean, he would pick up the bottle of wine, and as he was talking to you, he was reading the little card. I mean, he didn't know no more about it than we did. I mean, get out of the way. But it was neat having him there.
That, you know what, I'm always looking for, because, I worry about the future, and I'm always looking for, now what could be my plan C? And I could read the wine cards at Costco.
Yeah.
And you can hand out the little Smokies on toothpicks.
Oh, I'd be eating the Smokies. That'd be a problem. I could hand out the lentils. I'm not crazy about lentils. I would be the lentil guy. I would.
You don't like lentils? I'm
not big on lentils. No.
You know how much bacon a bowl full of lentils would push through your system?
Something to think about. I'm not having a problem right now, so I'm still good. I'm good. Listen, once I found out about the microwave ready cooked bacon in Costco, my life has changed. There's bacon on everything. I don't care. Peanut butter's bacon. It didn't matter what I'm eating. 40 seconds, I've got 3 strips of bacon ready to roll. It's unbelievable.
Nothing but respect for the way you have lived. You have engineered your life to be of maximum pleasure to you, and I have nothing but respect for it. Exactly. Heather, folks want to know what you're drinking tonight.
A ginger ale because I have tummy issues.
When I said Mercury retrograde was coming for Heather, that was not a joke. Like, Mercury retrograde is coming for Heather. So thank you all for popping by happy hour tonight. If you want to participate in our Catterday contest, you can go to bobandsherry.com. It's really simple. Just send a picture of your cat. We don't pick contest winners because we know all of y'all, and I would be super biased. Like, I'm just going to be honest. If I saw like Kat Kane or Regina Denton or Steve Held entering a contest, I'd be like, oh, they should win. I really like them. So we are not allowed to pick contest winners. But if your cat gets picked, your cat will become the star of social media, and you'll receive a hide and scratch and the collectible frame and some other cool swag too. And that's all at bobandsherry.com. Heather, what is next? Is next week a True Weird Happy Hour? What is next week, or is it regular?
Next week is a True Weird Happy Hour. It'll be on a Wednesday because it's Weird Wednesday.
True Weird Wednesday. Yep. Yeah. And you know what else happens next week? My old baby graduates from college. She is not walking in her commencement.
By choice or?
By choice. It's just thousands of people and it's overwhelming. And she's like, it's going to be hot and loud. And how many more of these graduations do we have to go to? And because I've been to a bunch of her friends' graduations. And I was like, well, honey, I mean, I was hoping to go to yours. But she's got her cap and gown, and her department, she's an artist, her department does a special separate ceremony, and she's got work hanging in a show and all. So I will get some cap and gown pictures. And it's maybe just as well, because you know that song they play at graduations? As soon as I heard they would have to get medics, because I would be not just crying. I think I might have some sort of a fit, like that gets you branded as a witch. I think I would not survive it. Yeah. So cheers, everybody.
Have a good evening.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you tomorrow on the regular show for the People's Movie Critics review of Arcadian starring Nicolas Cage. We'll see you next week. True Weird Wednesday happy hour. We love you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Love y'all.